Hello, Brian Crouch here with Crotch Rocket Sports. So, hey, we're here at the Super Bowl. I haven't done a video in a while, wanting to ramp these back up. Had some pretty crazy things happen in my life that I'll be talking about indefinitely in a separate video. But hey, Super Bowl 57, here we are. This is pretty crazy. So, 555 games have been played this season, and it should have been 556, or it should have been 557, but we got to take one away. Because if you remember that Bengals-Bills game, 556. So anyway, this is the 557th game of the year, the last one. So it's kind of definitely a bittersweet moment here for me, just because I love football season. This is definitely the best game of the year. But then I realized that it's done. So, but my Dallas Mavericks, pretty excited about them. Kyrie Irving came aboard. Rangers about to kick back up. They're about middle of the pack baseball-wise, so still plenty of Texas sports and sports all the way around to go, and many other shenanigans that we do here that we'll be getting involved with and ramping up this year. So as far as Super Bowls go, I remember about every one going all the way back to when I was 5-6 years old. We've had a lot of really, really good ones, some amazing ones that come to mind. Definitely the Patriots-Giants ones were really, really good. The Steelers-Cardinals, I think personally was the best one ever played, with Antonio Holmes with a little toe tapper there in the end. Kurt Warner should have had another Super Bowl, but that just came down to the very, very, very end. Absolutely amazing Super Bowl. We know we got our first overtime Super Bowl a few years ago with the Patriots, 28-3 against the Falcons. They needed overtime to come back and win that. Lots of records set in that one. So, with that being said, ironically, these are my two most hated teams in the entire league, have been my whole life. Growing up in Missouri, or whenever I was around my son's age, Caden, the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls and the Chiefs weren't. They were knocking on the door almost all the time. The Lynn Elliott missed field goals. If you're my age, in your early 40s, you may remember that. Joe Montana went to the Chiefs and they went to the championship game. The Colts beat them one year, and then the Steelers beat the Colts to go to the Super Bowl. That was a Steelers-Cowboys Super Bowl, which could have easily been a Chiefs-Cowboys Super Bowl, which I've been wanting to see my whole life. Had some high hopes for that this year. Obviously, it didn't happen. San Francisco took us out. So, again, on paper, this should be an absolutely amazing Super Bowl. Should be really, really good. But I am taking the Chiefs in this one, and I'll tell you why. If you read my blog entry, you can see the link below right there. Head over to crotchrocketsports.com. Should be one of the top ones there. But, okay, if you look at Patrick Mahomes during regular seasons, and this year he may have had one of the best regular seasons of all time, probably. However, with that being said, go look at his stats in the Super Bowl. So, yes, he is in his third Super Bowl in 5 years, which is insane. He's not even 30 years old yet. He's 27, and I think he's going to be back to many, many more. Nobody his age has more than 10 or more playoff wins yet either, not even Tom Brady. And so Mahomes has definitely a hell of a career ahead of him if he just keeps this up. But if you look in Super Bowls, Super Bowl 54, when they beat the Niners, first of all, Garoppolo overthrew, I believe it was Deebo Samuel, maybe that was the receiver, I think it was Deebo, for a surefire touchdown. He was open by 20 yards. That would have iced the game, and even Mahomes, I don't think, would have been able to come back from that. Mahomes threw 2 picks in that game. He doesn't do that in playoff games. Statistically, now if you look, he had 480-some yards. He accounted for 3 touchdowns. Even when he sucks, he's amazing. So they came back and they barely won that game. The next year when they played the Bucs, it wasn't even close. That game was over in the first quarter. And why? They were running all over the place. And they were getting after Mahomes like crazy. They were just tackling him, like just sacking him like nuts. He was running for his life on every single play. And he just couldn't establish any sort of rhythm. That's his only playoff game ever that he did not throw a single touchdown pass. And Tampa just whooped their you-know-what. Just whooped them. And and then, of course, he's got the other Super Bowl win, but statistically, it's just not very good. Whenever they beat the who did they beat last in the Super Bowl? Wow, I'm drawing a blank on who they actually beat in that Super Bowl there. But anyway, so moving forward, I really, really think, so if you look at Philly's game last week in the championship game, they put 2 quarterbacks in the hospital within 2 quarters. They knocked out Brock Purdy, who didn't have an incomplete pass at that point. And then this other Thompson guy comes in. I believe his last name's Thompson or Johnson. I've never heard of him because he's like their 5th stringer. San Francisco's been playing with 3rd stringers all year and almost made it to the Super Bowl. That speaks about the rest of their team. Because I think a perfectly healthy San Francisco team would give the Chiefs a run for their money. With that being said, I think Philly still beats San Fran last week. They're just overall that much better of a team. Philly's defense is sick, and I think they're going to be chasing Mahomes. If there's one formula to actually beat Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, as amazing as he is, make him uncomfortable. One of the reasons his stats are so amazing is because he always buys himself an extra 2 or 3 seconds on every play, and in the NFL, that's an eternity. If you can buy 2 or 3 more seconds, these corners can only cover the receivers for so long, and he throws dimes to boot. So if you give him that extra time, he's going to pick you apart. But I think the Eagles' defensive line is going to be the difference in this game. I think they're going to pressure him like crazy. They're going to make him make decisions that he doesn't want to do. And if Philly gets up by like 10 or something, they're just going to run. I don't know if you heard, Miles Sanders is pretty awesome. Then you still have to account for Jalen Hurts whenever people are dropping back in coverage, because he can run for 20 or 30 yards, a la what Justin Fields did for Chicago all year long, being basically a leading rusher. But in the end, I really, really, really do think that Philly is going to end up taking this, and my final prediction is 38-30. That means that I have the over hitting as well. So for those of you that want to put a little bit of fun money on the Super Bowl, sportsbooks love 2 things, the Super Bowl and March Madness. So today's going to be one of the biggest betting days of the year. So I'm going to spit a couple stats at you here that's also in the blog entry if you go down there and look at it. But we're just going to play with $10. So if you were to put $10 on the Chiefs to, let's see, I had this down here. Yes, okay. So if you look at the odds in the blog entry, $10 there. If the Chiefs lose by less than 1.5 or win, if this is called the point spread, is what we're betting here, you're going to get $19.09. That's your $10 back plus $9.09. Same thing if you pick the Eagles in the points, $19.09. If you pick the over or the under of 51 points, those odds are minus 110. What that means, if you put $10 on it to go over 51 points total, you get $19.09. If you pick it to go under, you get $19.09. If you pick the Chiefs to just flat out win, you get something like $20.25 back, something like that. If you pick the Eagles to just flat out win with $10, you get $19.09. So anyway, enjoy the Super Bowl. Be looking for more posts coming your way. And thank you for visiting. Really, really appreciate it. See you next time here, Crotch Rocket Sports. Have a great day.